How are you?
I am fantastic. So I would love it, baby girl, if you would share with the women listening here a little bit about your fertility journey, how we met, and all of the amazingness.
Okay. Well, there's like, how long do I have? I'm going to
Th-
condense. I'm going to do a really short,
This is
short
your
guy.
this is your story, baby girl. It's one of the most inspiring stories I've ever heard. So you do you.
I'm 45 in July, and I have an 8-month-old baby actually, and I had been trying for 7 years with my partner, and we had 7 miscarriages, 7 rounds of IVF, and yeah, sort of, I guess at the end there, I was just pretty over it. Um, and I think so much of what Roseanne talked about today, mindset being so pertinent to the conversation, I was so negative for so long because it just, kept repeating history, just kept repeating itself. And I was like, am I ever really going to get there? And then I recall the day I actually felt like my brain woke up and changed. And I've said this before, and I had done a podcast with Roseanne previously, and I think I mentioned it. I felt like a physical switch in my head had been turned on, and I think it was that real click that I could hear that changed my mindset. And I said, no, I'm gonna have a baby. So I went back inside the house after I was throwing the bins out, and I I said to my partner, I was like, right, let's go do it. We're doing IVF, next week. Let's just, try it out. And he's like, oh, I'm really not in the mood. And I'm like, oh well, who's ever in the fucking mood? Like, really? I'm just like, this is good time. I just know it. I'm ovulating. Let's go for it. So um we did it. And then I really remember thinking about acceptance and opening up of my entire self and just sort of like letting go, I guess. And it's as trite as that sounds, that's really kind of what was in the you know, f- foreground of my mind when I was doing what I was doing. So I, at the
Conceiving is
end,
all about receiving, right?
at the end of that, I wrote in my diary, and I don't have a diary. I don't write in diaries, but I wrote in this little black book next to my bed, and I said, I'm I'm having a baby. And the next period I missed, and I just never checked because I didn't want to get disappointed. I think when I had reached out to Roseanne at that point, I might have been 5 or 6 weeks pregnant and I didn't know. And I waited until I was maybe 10 weeks, and I went to the doctors and I said, look, I know this sounds really funny, but I think I might be pregnant. I haven't done a test. She's like, what? I was like, she's like, "Do you wanna do a pee test?" I was like, "Yeah, sure, why not?" So I did it, and she was like, "Yeah, you're 10 weeks pregnant." And I was like, "Whoa, that's crazy." And I went to, the doctors and had my scan at 12 weeks, and it had never been a positive experience in the past, so I just sort of, plodded along to the doctor's appointment with my partner and did the scan, and she was like, "It's so strong, the heartbeat's there, everything's good." And again, I just was completely speechless. And I remember leaving that office that day just with my partner, completely just couldn't speak for about 4 hours. It was pretty crazy. And now I've got a baby. So, and I'm like trying for number two. So it's,
Gotta
yeah.
dust off your tools, girl.
Well, I think it was just, yeah, not, I mean, I had the baby naturally. It wasn't through IVF. And this was after people had told me I would never conceive, you're too old, all this stuff over and over and over and over again. Never in my wildest dreams did I think after 7 IVF attempts that I would fall naturally. So I just want you guys to know that it is totally 100% possible. Like, you just gotta dream it, think it, and it will come. I promise you.
Tell them,
So
Yasmine, why you did that. Why did you hadn't tested, but you wanted to do this work. Why?
I think because I was so worried that I would lose it because I'd had so many miscarriages beforehand. My work with Roseanne was really to keep it, to talk to it, to continue, kind of breathing life into it because I was so worried that my negativity would actually just make it go away. And so every time I felt a twinge of pain or that really familiar um, stomach, cramping I'd get just before I miscarried, I was I'd just have a conversation with myself. I'd go and get a hot water bottle. I'd lie down and be like, hey, dude, you're in it with me. You're not going anywhere. Like, I love you. Stay. And I honestly think those conversations with myself really, really, really helped. I don't know if I'd be sitting here with, my baby now if I hadn't have done that. And I think if you have had the misfortune to have miscarriages, that child is trying to come to you. Like those attempts is just it's not ready or you're not ready. And don't give up. Like that baby will come eventually. It's just taking its sweet ass time. But um it really does. They really do come. And I think if you try and talk to them, that Spirit Baby book really, really helped me. Um
And I
and I
remember you getting on the calls, Yasmine. You didn't care that what time was it in Sydney? It was like 3 a.m., wasn't
like
it? Or
3 a.m. Yeah.
you guys had to have seen like Yasmine was so committed. She would come to the calls, she'd be in her jammies,
In
pregnant
bed.
AF, like still working through it. And that took a lot of courage, Yasmine, because think about that. With 7 years of trying, 7 IVFs, 7 miscarriages, it would have been really easy. I mean, didn't you have also some crazy episode where you're moving embryos from like
Oh yeah. Yeah.
Australia to Greece, all kinds
I
of crazy things?
Yeah, I mean, I tried everything. I had a surrogate that I was looking at, um, you know, uh, kind of working with. My cousin offered twice and she pulled out. Then my sister-in-law pulled out. So I was like, okay, I'm not going with anybody. I know. I just want to, you know, maybe let's go to Greece. So we went to Greece because we had our honeymoon there and it was a great experience. So we went and, you know, a year later, after waiting desperately, what the hell's going on with them? We got a call from our surrogate lawyer and said that they had shut down the clinic in Greece due to some shady activity. And that whole place shut down. The embryos went missing for like 2 years. Then I finally got them back to Australia maybe like 3 months ago. Um,
Wow.
and they're the embryos that we're going to try um, and do in the new year. And it's funny to think that if they do actually become children, like they're actually older than Sahara by like quite a long time, like 4 years. So it's pretty cool.
It's funny how that works out, right? I mean, I think you're such a shining example of a woman taking control and saying, "No, I'm not going to do this again. I am not going to let this happen again." And you called for help and said, "I'm doing this and I'm taking it the distance." Like from the time she was conceived, Sahara was intentional and mama
Yes.
was not going to let her go.
She came out in 45 minutes as well. So I definitely feel like she was waiting in the wings for a really long time and was just like, get me out. I'm ready to go. So
Wow.
real
Yasmin,
firecracker.
you are living proof of the desire in your heart to be a mom is there because it was meant for you. Thank you
Yeah,
so much for sharing that. And
my
you're
pleasure.
such an inspiration that even in the face of all of that, I mean, you were told that wouldn't happen for you and it freaking did.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, those years that you worry so much about not having it, it actually disappears the minute you have the baby and you're holding him or her. So, I thought I'd be this wretched person for the rest of my life, doomed to all of these memories that were super, super sad. And you know what? I'd do it all over again because it meant that I was a stronger person, that my partner's relationship and I was as strong as possible, that I am so grateful every time I look at my daughter, because I know that wasn't easy. And I get to see her and it's like the best thing ever.
Yeah. I mean, think about it, Yasmin. When we're done here, And I mean, remember being in this place when we talked about believing bigger and allowing the good to come into your life. You applied all of the tools that I gave you with such grace and such determination. And at the end of this, when you jump off, you're going to go see your daughter.
Yeah. I know. It's crazy.
Oh my goodness, woman. Thank
Yeah.
you so much for
My
sharing that. Thank
pleasure.
you for taking time out of your busy day to be with us. We're
My
sending you
pleasure.
and your family so much love. Go hug Sahara for me.
Thank
And I
you.
can't wait to hear about baby number 2.
Yeah, I will keep you posted, but honestly, good luck. Like, you don't need it. You just need to believe again. And it's really hard to remember to do that, but I promise you you'll get there, especially with Roseanne. She's amazing. Thank you so very much.
Thank you. I love you, Yasmine.